Welcome back, everyone. Well, you know I love a couple of things. I love trivia, I love presidential history, I love Jeopardy, and I love when you get to combine them all, and I love when I get to compete against someone that I think has a fair bit of intelligence and a fair bit of knowledge when it comes to these things. So a while back we did a video where I took on Ben Shapiro as he played some trivia, some Jeopardy style trivia on his channel. And he's back with President's Day Jeopardy Volume 2. So we're going to see how we stack up against Ben Shapiro. Now, I'm not going to keep track of individual points and all those sorts of things. I'm just going to see how many questions I get right compared to how many he gets right. So it should be interesting. Let's see how you do. Let me know in the comment section below. The link is in the description if you want to check out the video without my commentary. Let's dive into this. Hey everybody, future Chris here, just recording this after I have recorded this entire video. Just to give you a heads up that when I went in to edit the video before I uploaded it, I realized that there was an issue with my green screen where there was a line shooting up right into the middle of the shot. So unfortunately, because this is a Jeopardy video, there's no honorable way that I can go back and reshoot the entire video, because obviously now I've heard all the answers. And so what I've decided to do is I've actually taken a cut of the original video and overlaid it onto the screen so that when the video is playing, you'll see it without that line, at least not shooting up into the middle of the original video. It'll still be on the bottom part. But unfortunately, that also means that when I pause, there's no easy way to do that. So when I pause, you're still going to see the original video with the line shooting up. So I apologize. I hope it's not too much of a distraction for you on this one. And before everybody asks, as I know some of you will be hearing his voice for the first time, yes, he really does talk like that. It's not just the video being sped up. That's just the sound of his voice.
Alrighty, folks, it's President's Day, and that means it's time for a quick round of Jeopardy! President's Edition. This video is sponsored by our friends at Home Title Lock.
And the categories are...
I love, first of all, that they're using, that's obviously the sound of, oh my gosh, what's his name? The guy that plays Alex Trebek on, Will Ferrell on Saturday Night Live. Some of my all-time favorite SNL sketches are the ones where they do Celebrity Jeopardy. Some great stuff.
Fast facts, presidential deaths, the White House, first ladies, scandals, and founding fathers.
Okay, why don't we start with scandals, since that's what people want to get to first, probably.
Scandals for 200, Phil.
This president admitted to having an affair during his second term as president.
So, I mean, I guess we're talking about Bill Clinton, right? I mean, he didn't really... I mean, he kind of admitted to the affair, but everybody remembers that very famous press conference where he says, I did not have sexual relations with that woman, Miss Lewinsky. It was a big deal that didn't need to be a big deal. He's hardly the only president who... I'm not saying having an affair is not a big deal. It absolutely is. But he's hardly the first president to do it. The problem was how he tried to legalese his way out of it.
Well, I mean, you can say that there's actually two presidents who did this, but it's actually Bill Clinton here.
Who is Bill Clinton?
Who is Bill Clinton?
And that is correct.
The other person I was thinking of, it would be Grover Cleveland. Grover Cleveland famously had an affair, and that actually was during his second term, I believe, that he admitted it. Okay, scandals for 400.
President Joe Biden left billions of dollars in military equipment after...
All right, so is the whole thing going to be just a bunch of like digs at Democrat presidents? It seems like so far that's what it's doing. It's Afghanistan.
I think my legs might be broken.
Does somebody want to take the category? We could be your Jeopardy hosts.
Sure, why don't you do that?
President Joe Biden left billions of dollars in military equipment after withdrawing troops from this country.
Where is Afghanistan?
And that is correct. We're starting out easy here, Ben.
I'm figuring, because, these ones are easy. Okay, scandals for 600.
This president created a mild scandal in the British press when he kissed Queen Elizabeth on the lips.
It says the Queen Mother afterwards. So Queen Elizabeth, the Queen Mother, was the mother of Queen Elizabeth II. Queen Elizabeth, the Queen Mother, was a queen consort, not a monarch. Oh gosh. I actually don't know if I know this one. Was it John F. Kennedy?
Who is Donald Trump?
Let's try that again.
Do you know? I'll give you a hint.
They can't give him 3 hints. That doesn't count. You get one.
Peanuts.
Really? Jimmy Carter did that?
Yeah, apparently.
Wow, that's shocking.
You can say, who is Jimmy Carter?
Who is
Jimmy Carter, really?
I mean, he did say that he had sinned in his own mind many times, so, weird one, Jimmy. Okay.
So far, all of the answers have been Democrat presidents. I'm sensing a theme here.
Scandals for 800, yeah.
President George H.W. Bush caused quite a stir with many of the nation's farmers when he stated his dislike over this certain vegetable.
Oh, that's broccoli, and I agree with him 1,000% on that.
Oh, wow.
It's broccoli.
This is kind of like niche.
Yeah,
It's not
is it-
niche. I mean, Ben Shapiro is not that much younger than me. I remember this vividly. This was like a really big deal. It was stupidly a really big deal at the time.
This is niche. Because there were a lot of potato-laden scandals during the H.W. Bush term. Remember Dan Quayle?
it's broccoli.
Potato?
The potato one with,
I'll say
with Dan
potatoes.
Quayle.
No, it's broccoli.
Yeah.
Oh. Okay.
All right, I'm up by
Wow,
one.
I did not know that. These are definitely minor scandals, too. When I'm thinking of scandals, I'm like Teapot Dome, and you're like, remember that time that Jimmy Carter kissed Queen Elizabeth on the lips? Okay. Scandals for 1,000.
Well, maybe I should have made the next one.
Oh.
Teapot Dome. Harding.
Yeah, no, Teapot Dome. This is Warren G. Harding.
Yep.
Who is Warren G. Harding?
Classic.
Okay, next
And that's why Ohio hasn't had a president since.
category. The one that I'm going to...
Although I should point out that despite the scandals during his administration, Harding was actually an extremely popular president. He died in office, so who knows what would have happened if he had been reelected.
Bomb, by the way, is first ladies. I'm totally going to bomb that 'cause I don't care about it. That is not a real category of human. First ladies. We all pretend the first lady matters, and not so much.
Melania in the background. The first lady definitely matters. I think that's a little condescending to say otherwise.
Let's do presidential deaths. We'll go dark here. Sponsored by Policy Genius.
This president, the principal author of the Declaration of Independence, died on July 4th in 1826.
Well, actually, 2 presidents died that day, John Adams and Thomas Jefferson. People have said that John Adams' last words were Thomas Jefferson survives. I don't know if those were his exact last words. They were definitely among his last words. But Jefferson had died earlier that same day. And it's amazing to me that these 2 men who were both on that committee together that wrote the Declaration of Independence died on the 50th anniversary of the adoption of the final wording of the Declaration.
Okay, well, actually, 2 presidents died on July 4th, 1826.
Boom, roasted. We're all roasted.
No, I actually did know that.
Both authors of the Declaration of Independence, by the way. I mean, obviously, this is meant to be Thomas Jefferson,
Yeah.
but John Adams is also deeply involved in the authoring of the Declaration of Independence, and they died on the same day, which is pretty incredible.
That's like the Notebook.
Yeah, well, Adams' last words were Jefferson still lives.
Are they related, their deaths at all?
No, just by
I didn't know if it
coincidence.
was like a shootout or
No, it
something.
was like
No,
hundreds of miles apart. Adams died in Massachusetts. Jefferson died in Virginia.
Oh, no, it wasn't like...
I'm still up by 1.
Burr shooting Hamilton or something.
Well, you were correct. Who is Thomas Jefferson? You're skipping a little ahead in the category.
Okay.
All right, next.
This president died 1 month into
William
his
Henry
term.
Harrison.
He gave such a long inaugural address in freezing temperatures that he caught a cold and then got pneumonia.
Who is...
Not related, though. That people love to claim that, but he didn't get sick until a couple of weeks after his inauguration.
Is President William Henry Harrison.
Ding, 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 ding.
Yeah, by the way, he was super old at the age of 68, and
Yeah.
apparently he tried to keep warm by drinking a lot. He was very famous for winning that election based on basically having giant voter events where they handed out free beer.
Nice.
That is smart.
Yeah. Okay. Presidential deaths for 600.
Still up by 1.
Along with Thomas Jefferson, these 2
John
presidents
Adams.
also
John Adams and James Monroe died in 1831 on July 4th.
died on Independence Day.
Who is John Adams?
I told you were skipping
James
ahead.
Monroe.
Which other president died on Independence
Here we
Day?
go.
Wow. Okay, that is an excellent
I think I'm
question.
going to be up by 2.
I can give you a hint.
No hints.
Okay, I'll take a hint.
His initials are JM.
Yeah, but it could be
I mean,
James Madison.
there are 2 presidents with those initials.
Exactly.
Right. Exactly. Okay, so I'm gonna say who is James Monroe? Okay.
I'm going to say he doesn't get it because he got a hint, so I'm up by 2.
I did not know James Monroe died on July 4th.
Yeah, 1831 in New York
That is a
City,
cool-
but he was eventually exhumed and reburied at Hollywood Cemetery in Richmond.
Cool factoid. I like that. Okay.
Jess is just here to teach you things, Ben.
Okay. Presidential deaths for 800.
This president died 5 days after eating and drinking a
Zachary
ton of
Taylor.
cherries and ice cold milk.
Is this a person who died while president, or is this a person who died?
Yeah, so people speculate about typhoid and different things like that. There was speculation he was poisoned, and so a decade or two ago he was exhumed from his cemetery in Louisville, Kentucky, where I'm heading tomorrow. And there's actually pictures of like his skeleton online that you can see from when they exhumed him. But there was something in the water, nasty like cholera stuff going on in the water in D.C. That's why you have a bunch of presidents dying in office in quick succession there. Not in succession, but nearly at the same time, and other people as well. James Polk died right after leaving office. William Henry Harrison, Zachary Taylor.
After being president.
I think as president.
Who is Zachary Taylor?
Ben, you are a beast.
I'm still up
I
by
wrote
2.
an entire book about presidents, like on an imagistic level, and it's my worst-selling book historically. It's called Project President. Zachary Taylor, who's suspected that he died of poisoning because of that, because he died of indigestion.
Lord have mercy.
Presidential deaths for 1,000.
This president died in 1849. Many scholars believe he practically worked
Polk.
himself to death while president.
James Polk. I just talked about him.
I'm going in reverse where I'm missing the one president between John Tyler and
How does the song go?
yeah, exactly.
Washington.
You do the hokey.
Oh, so he wasn't president when he died. Yeah, Polk. He left office in 1848.
You got
No,
that
he
right,
left
Ben.
office
That's
in
on me.
1849. It was the election was in 1848, but he will have left office in March of 1849.
Okay, fine.
That's not you. You
Okay.
got the points.
Okay,
So he
fine.
got it. I'm still up 2.
All right, let's do Founding Fathers for 200.
There were this many principal founding fathers, Ben.
How do you even name something like that? First of all, not all the founding fathers were presidents. I mean, look at Alexander Hamilton and Benjamin Franklin and John Jay. These were important founding fathers who were never president of the United States. But how do we say how many principal founding fathers there were? That's such an arbitrary question to me.
The question doesn't say Ben.
This many principal founding fathers?
I don't know.
Like signatories to the Declaration of Independence, are we talking here?
So I would say like core founding fathers, the main guys.
See, he's as confused by this question as I am.
There are a lot of main guys. That's the,
Right.
Like, it is 100% subjective.
I guess I defined it.
Yeah.
So
It's totally subjective. I agree. It's a bad question.
Okay, founding fathers for 400.
This founding father's son died in a duel 3 years earlier.
What's this got to do with? Oh, I guess it's President's Day Jeopardy. It doesn't necessarily mean they're all about presidents. Alexander Hamilton.
1801, at the same location.
Yeah, this is true. Alexander Hamilton's son died.
Yeah, his son Philip. He fought a duel against George Eaker, who had fought another duel that day. And really sad for Alexander Hamilton's wife. She lost her father, her sister, her husband, and her son all within a couple of years of each other. And what a lot of people don't talk about, and what the musical never talks about, is that in the aftermath of Philip's death, their eldest daughter, was it Angelica? I think her name was Angelica, basically had a mental break and was described from that point on as being in perpetual childhood. And she lived to be an old woman, but was always mentally a child after that.
In a duel in 1801.
Bring back that.
They
Okay,
showed
bring back dueling.
Anthony Ramos, who played
It'd make
Philip.
politics way more interesting.
or at least like make them joust.
Yeah, and jousting would be amazing. Okay,
And
founding
let me tell
fathers-
you, if you go to the spot where these duels happened in Weehawken, especially at night, it's the most incredible view of the skyline of Manhattan that you will ever see anywhere. It's amazing.
For 600?
Of the founding fathers who became president, this one did not attend college.
Of the founding fathers who became president, this one did not attend college. So let's talk through them. Washington never went to college. So it's Washington. I didn't have to go any further than that. I don't think Washington ever went to college.
Who is George Washington?
All right, I'm still up by
He
2.
became a surveyor. Okay, founding fathers for 800.
The term founding fathers did not exist until this man mentioned it in his acceptance speech at the 1920 Republican National Convention.
Well, if it's 1920, that's the year that Warren Harding was elected, so it's got to be Warren Harding.
Well, if you'd not given me the date, then I would have been screwed on that one.
Yeah,
but,
same.
Who is Warren G. Harding?
Yeah, I never would have known that if it hadn't been for that date.
Crushing it.
Okay, again, for
Still up
1,000.
2.
Upon graduating from Harvard, John Adams became a teacher who taught this subject.
Oh, yeah, I knew he was a teacher. before he went into practicing law. I'm gonna say languages like Greek and Latin, which was a required subject at the time.
What is philosophy?
No. What is feminism? No, I'm kidding.
What is lesbian dance theory? Yeah.
What is grammar?
Grammar. Okay,
Makes sense.
Still up 2.
He's extremely meticulous in his writing.
Now they laugh about the lesbian connection there, but if you go to the church where John Adams is buried today, he and his wife and his son John Quincy Adams and his wife are all interred in a tomb under the church. It's a Unitarian Universalist church, and you will most likely walk under a LGBTQ, whatever you call it, flag when you walk in. So,
Okay, we can do the White House.
This president never lived in the White House, as it was built after he died.
George
Who is
Washington.
George Washington?
Yeah. And John Adams only lived in it at the very end of his term.
400.
For 400, it cost this amount of money to visit the White House.
None.
What is $0?
Yeah, it's free.
Nice. I tried
Never
to
done it though. That's like the one place in DC I haven't been yet. So I'm still up 2.
there.
I figured. Or if you're a foreign country, what is an unspecified amount of money to a specific person in the White House who will then do your bidding? White House for 600.
For 600, this president is credited with creating the West Wing.
I think it's Theodore Roosevelt. Pretty sure it's Theodore Roosevelt.
Aaron Sorkin.
Fantastic show, by the way, West Wing. And starring Martin Sheen, who I think is most people's favorite president of all time.
It's Martin Sheen.
TR.
Who's Andrew Jackson?
Way later.
Yeah.
It is your boy Teddy Roosevelt.
Oh, wow.
Up
Yeah,
3.
much later.
I think I
Okay.
got him.
White House for 800.
There are this many rooms in the White House.
I have no idea. I'm sure I'm low, but I'm going to say 32.
They're all tiny. I've been there. It's like a tiny person's house.
When did you go?
I've been there several times. Well, during Trump's first term. It's got to be over 100.
132.
I'll count that as
132. I had the 32 right. I knew for some reason I had seen that somewhere, and I knew that it was low.
right.
Over 100.
All right, still up 3.
We're doing prices right here now.
Yeah, that's right.
The White House for.
I don't think I've missed any that he's gotten right so far. So I feel pretty good about that.
The White House was designed by this Irish-American architect after he won the design competition in 1792.
I'm sure I've read this at some point in my life, but I have no idea.
Yeah, I'm not gonna know this one.
This was hard.
I know. Some of these were very hard.
Who was it?
Who is James Hoban?
Yeah, I
Good
would've
for
done
James
that.
Hoban.
My architecture knowledge is limited. Okay, the only categories left are what? First ladies and fast facts?
Let's get first ladies
Okay, let's do
over
it.
with.
That's fine. Okay, 200 first ladies.
This was the first lady to live in the
Abigail
White
Adams.
House.
Who was Abigail Adams? Yeah, she hated it, by the way. She said that it was cold and terrible.
Well, yeah, you know, if you want to see a great portrayal of what the White House looked like when John Adams lived there, watch the TV show John Adams, which I cannot recommend enough. Is absolutely phenomenal. The acting, the writing, the scenery, the story, all of it is top notch. Paul Giamatti as John Adams, Laura Linney as Abigail, so good.
When Trump said that in his first term, he's like,
Yes, and he's right. But by the way, he's totally right. Like it is a massive downgrade from Mar-a-Lago. First ladies for 400.
All right. Name one first lady that was not
Louisa
born in
Adams.
the United States.
Who's Melania Trump?
Oh, there's 2. That's right. Louisa Adams, who was John Quincy Adams' wife, was born in the UK.
There's one more. Would you know it?
One first lady was not born in the United States. Jackie Kennedy? Not
Oh, yeah,
born in
she
the
was
United
born in the
States?
U.S.
I don't even know who this is.
Who is it?
Louisa Adams?
Oh, like John Quincy's wife.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right,
born
so
in
I'm
London.
still up
Yes,
3.
that's right. First ladies for 600.
Alrighty. This many first ladies were also mothers of presidents.
Well, this one's easy. There's only been one father-son set of presidents, right? I mean, so it's just one, Barbara Bush. Well, let me think about that for a second, because we've had first ladies who weren't the wives of presidents. No, I still say it's just one.
Okay. Well, Abigail.
Yep.
Oh, jeez, I'm an idiot. There were 2 John and John Quincy and George W. So I missed that one.
let's see,
Barbara Bush.
Barbara,
Yep.
That's it.
and of course Melania, because Barron will be our first emperor.
Our first emperor. Oh boy. All right, so I
First
missed that
ladies
one.
for 800.
I'm up 2. How did
Name
I
2
not
of the
think
4
of
first ladies that passed away before their husband took office.
that? Rachel Jackson, who was Andrew Jackson's wife. I got to think about this one for a second. Well, then they weren't first ladies. Okay, so first lady is the wife of the president. So I know what they're saying here, but these were wives of future presidents. They weren't first ladies. All right, so yeah, Rachel Jackson, because that one was a big deal. He said that she killed him, or that the campaign killed her, and blamed his opponents for it. Gosh, I got to start thinking through like all of the presidents now to think about who else had a wife who died before they took office. Oh my gosh, we might be here for a while. I paused because I didn't want to make you sit there and watch me while I thought about it, but then I realized you might think I'm looking it up. So I mean, we had a couple of presidents who had first ladies who died while they were in office. Woodrow Wilson was one. Benjamin Harrison's wife died in office. Chester Arthur. I think his wife died before he took office, and I think did Grover Cleveland's first wife die before he took office? I'm gonna say Arthur and Jackson.
So, like long before. So that would be Joe Biden's first wife.
Oh yeah.
And
Forgot about
Martha Jefferson, who famously passed away very young.
Yeah, she died long before Jefferson became president, long before we even had presidents.
Right. First ladies for 1,000. This is the
So they didn't tell the other ones. So I don't know if I'm right or not. Now we need to look it up. So I was correct. Chester Arthur's wife died in 1880, which was the year he was elected. And then as I was thinking about it, I also forgot that Theodore Roosevelt's first wife died long before he took office. In fact, and I've talked about this many times, his mother and his wife died the same day in the same house on different floors, and he wrote a big X in his journal that day, which you can see an image of it, and he wrote, "The light has gone out of my life." It's just heartbreaking stuff. But all right, so I got that one right, so I'm still up 2. This is the first lady to own and drive a car. Oh wow. This is a tough one too. Well, William McKinley was the first president to ride in a car while president, so we know it's not any earlier than that. I'm gonna go Ellen Wilson.
first lady to own and drive a
It
car.
might be later than that.
Who's Eleanor Roosevelt?
Try one more time.
Who's Edith Wilson?
One more.
I'll eat
3
it.
times the charm.
Phil said Doug Emhoff.
What did I say? Was that his
Girl,
first
take
wife?
that laughy.
What?
Is that a hint?
What did you just say
That
to
was
me?
a hint.
She said, "Girl, shake that." What?
Girl, shake that laffy. Oh, you probably never heard that song.
No, I don't know what you're talking
Girl,
about.
shake that laugh. It's
What
not
comes
it.
after Laffy?
Now more than one of you are saying it.
The
It's not
Laffy
helping.
Taffy.
Laffy Taffy.
Laffy Taffy.
Oh, Taft's wife?
Taft.
Yeah.
Okay, but I wouldn't have known like even her first name, and it wasn't Laffy. I don't think.
Helen, yeah.
It's Helen.
So I'm still up 2.
Okay, fast fact.
This man was the youngest president taking
Theodore
office
Roosevelt.
at the age of 42.
Who was Teddy Roosevelt?
Don't call him Teddy. If you're a fan of the man, don't call him Teddy. He hated the name. I made the mistake myself a few times, but youngest president was Theodore Roosevelt. Youngest elected president was John F. Kennedy.
This president appeared on the $500 bill, which was discontinued in
Cleveland?
1969.
I think it's Cleveland.
Who was Grover Cleveland? No, who was
we both
the
missed it.
$500 bill?
William McKinley?
William McKinley.
Really?
Wow.
Okay, Ben, you totally need to get
How
one
did
of
I?
those.
I'm so disappointed I didn't know that. That's like our hometown guy. My great uncle built the house he was born in, for goodness sake. I live in the town he grew up in, Poland, Ohio. I'm so disappointed I missed
You
that.
don't have one already.
In
Still
honor
up
of
to-
Donald Trump, I have to get the McKinley $500 bill. That's cool.
100%. This president and his wife exchanged more
Or
than
John and Abigail Adams.
Yes. Yeah, he beat me to it, but that's a super easy one. They are famous for the letters they wrote to each other. Incredible stuff. As are the letters that Adams and Jefferson wrote to each other at the end of their lives. Good stuff. He jumped in before I thought he was going to, but I definitely knew that.
You pressed the buzzer too early.
Yeah, exactly. Their letters are beautiful, by the way.
Yeah, they are. They really
This
are.
president was
and
an
you can
enthusiast.
see how much influence she had in his life, in his politics, from those letters. Like, he really welcomed her advice and her input into things. And I think that says a lot about the relationship they had. So he doesn't beat me on this one. I'm just going to read it. This president was an enthusiastic dog breeder, particularly of hunting hounds, to which he gave names like Sweet Lips and Drunkard. I was initially going to say Calvin Coolidge, but this doesn't sound like a Calvin Coolidge thing. Wow, I really have no idea on this one. I'm going to say Harding again.
Enthusiastic dog breeder, particularly of hunting hounds,
I don't
to
think it's
which he gave
Harding, though.
names like Sweet Lips and Drunkard.
Ew. Don't love that.
Yeah, not into that at all. That
He's
sounds,
one of those people that lets them lick their face.
Yeah, exactly.
Ugh.
I was gonna say, who is Teddy Roosevelt, because that seems like a thing he would do, but probably earlier.
Yeah, earlier.
Probably like the earliest.
Oh,
Really? That was a Washington thing?
Yeah.
it was
That's so
Washington.
weird. George, that's so weird.
Wow,
that's so
that is
weird,
weird.
George Washington.
You know, that weirdo George.
That is a weird one. Okay, fast facts for 1,000.
I got him beat.
A star football player at the University of
Gerald
Michigan.
Ford.
This president turned down offers from both the Detroit Lions
Yeah,
and
so Gerald Ford, and so this is a fun one I always like to throw at people. Can you name all of the universities in the United States that have produced a president of the United States and a Super Bowl winning quarterback? Because University of Michigan is one of them. You've got, I think, Stanford. I know Miami of Ohio for sure, because you have Ben Roethlisberger and Benjamin Harrison, I think, or Rutherford Hayes. One of them went to Miami of Ohio. There are a couple others.
Green Bay Packers.
Who is Gerald Ford?
Wow.
What's amazing about that is that Saturday Night Live made him famous for being like a bumbling,
Yeah.
fumbling idiot.
He was an
Every
athlete.
time Chevy Chase would appear, he'd fall over. Probably, literally, the most physically adept president in the history of all the presidents is Gerald Ford.
I don't know if I would say that. I mean, he's in that conversation. Obviously, he was an elite athlete at the time, but we're talking about physically adept. I mean, Abraham Lincoln was is in the Hall of Fame for wrestling. Very physically adept. Theodore Roosevelt was a very physically fit guy, though he also had asthma, so there was certainly a weakness to his physicality. But, I mean, there's other people you can have in that conversation.
Right? He was an actual football star. So, good job, SNL, as always.
All right, Ben.
You won Jeopardy today.
All right, so I think I beat him by 2. There was that one question that I'm really ashamed of myself for not getting right about John Adams, or about Abigail Adams being the mother of a president. That's the only one that he got that I didn't. How did you do? Did any of you beat me? I'm sure there's somebody out there who did. Let me know in the comment section below. Thanks for watching.